All right, next fight, another great one. We've got Gilbert Burns versus Jack Della Maddalena. Now, all the way up to this, I was going to pick Gilbert Burns, but I'm actually, and I did change my mind not that long ago, but like long enough ago where I'm fairly solid on it. I'm going to take Jack, but I think this is like a really tough test for him. Now, the reason why I'm a little bit dubious is because we saw what Jack was like on the ground against Hafez. He was horrendous when it got down there. But having said that, his takedown defense is actually very, very underrated. He is very, very hard to take down. And when I went to go and rewatch that fight, when I did the prospects or overrated fight, it was in an overrated fighters video where I actually said Jack was overrated. I was surprised going back on it and seeing how good his takedown defense actually is. And for me, I just love the way he puts pressure on with his hands. You know, I'm a very big advocate for body shots, and the way he digs to the body, for me, is probably the best in the UFC. Like, I do expect this one to be a tough fight. I think there are going to be moments in the fight when Gilbert does okay. And again, there is that worry that if Burns does find a way to get it to the ground, if there's some kind of slip or some kind of moment where Jack ends up on the bottom, that could be a big problem. Again, horrible on the ground, got no game there whatsoever. I just think that Burns at his current age now is going to struggle to get it there. I think if this was Gilbert Burns 3 years ago, 5 years ago, I'd be picking him. I think Gilbert Burns is fantastic, but he's just, I think he's too old now. And I think this goes the distance, and I think Jack wins this fight 2-1 or maybe even 3-0. I'm going with Jack.
Yeah. This is one where I had to kind of push my heart to the side because of how much of a Gilbert Burns fan I am. And I've watched a lot of his training leading up to this. And I mean, he looks great, but who doesn't look great in training? And the reality is, he's 37 and Jack is 27. And what we saw in Gilbert's last fight, now mind you, he did get hurt. He still didn't seem like the same person that fought Khamzat Chimaev. He didn't seem like the person that was running through the welterweight division on his way to fighting Kamaru Usman. And so with that being the case, he's a little bit older than he was when he last lost. I think that he's in a situation where he has to get the fight to a certain place. Anytime a fighter doesn't have options and they have to get the fight to a certain place, then that makes them very predictable. And Jack knows where he can't be. And it's going to be hard to get him there. Just like you said, his takedown defense is stellar. I think that there is a path for Gilbert to win. And I think that Gilbert still has power. But where I have struggles is his ability to continue to chain wrestle to get him down. And I don't know if he has that want to or that drive to do that, to be able to get Jack down, because I mean, there's obviously a reward once he gets him down there. So
yeah,
because of that, I think that Jack has an ability to keep it standing. What I will say though is Jack needs to finish him. Jack needs to finish. When he fought Kevin Holland, he allowed Kevin to hang around and keep it interesting and en route to a split decision. He cannot do that with Gilbert because Gilbert has fight-ending power at any point. So you can't allow him to stay around, and you can't allow it to go to the judges just because of optics and where he wants to be. So because of those things, Jack really does kind of need a finish to stay relevant in this division where he's really fighting against Ian Gary to get to that top spot. So he does need to do that, but I do side with, unfortunately, JDM to get this win and Gilbert to catch another L. Dang, it sucks.
And it could be, and it could be we could get a second retirement potentially.
Could be.
If your one comes to fruition, because this is basically it's make or break for Gilbert, because if he doesn't win this, they're going to give him more up and coming killers behind him. He's going to be nowhere near the belt. He's made enough money.
Yeah.
It'd be sad, but we'll see.